It's a special Saturday afternoon edition of Weather for Weather Geeks, and we are going to geek out to a lot of cool stuff today, a lot of very important information as we get set to head into the worst part of winter in terms of snow, wind, and, of course, the very cold temperatures. The storm today has been behaving pretty much as expected. We got our healthy dumping of snow this morning, and as I record this a little after 2 p.m., we're in a dry slot right now. In fact, the sky is brightening. I even had to put on my sunglasses coming into work a little before 2 this afternoon. So the steady snow right on schedule has moved east, but what we have to deal with now is the cold front, which is about to push in, and along that front we have these bursts of snow. Notice it's much more scattered, kind of disorganized. It's not that kind of steady band, but this will, as it pushes through, reduce the visibility quickly, give us a quick burst of snow. Someone might get another inch out of this. A lot of us will get a half an inch, something like that. So we have to be on guard for this across most of the Mahoning Valley as we head into the 3 and 4 o'clock hours. Once we're done with that, I think it's just a flurry or two as we head into the evening. So I'll put the radar in motion here, give you a sense as to how things are tracking. Our steady snow, again, has already wound down in most spots. Lawrence County, the last to see it, and southeastern Mercer County. But Cleveland down to Mansfield right now, they're getting those bursts of real heavy snow. It won't last a long time, but this will continue pushing east for the rest of the afternoon. So I'll take off the radar, show you the temperatures. It's in the mid-20s. It doesn't feel bad outside today, especially compared to where we've been and where we are about to be heading into the work week. So enjoy some relative warmth. The cold, of course, is reloading off to the north. It's well below zero up in Canada, and chunks of that cold air will continue coming south with the mother load really coming Monday night into Tuesday, Tuesday night, and into Wednesday as well. All right, let's talk about tomorrow because we got another snow event coming our way for Sunday, right on schedule. And I think this will be the kind of weaker of the two systems. Here's the predicted radar in the wee hours of tonight. We're talking about midnight here, snow getting into Iowa, Minnesota. Let's fast forward ahead to daybreak tomorrow. Here's tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. That band of snow is pushed into Indianapolis and Chicago, and continuing to push off to the south and east. This is actually a warm front this snow is associated with tomorrow morning. As that warm front approaches, the snow will approach. This is 10 o'clock Sunday morning. So at 10 o'clock, if you need to be out and about, you're still doing all right across northeast Ohio and into western Pennsylvania. But then, as we head into the afternoon, and I'll stop this at 1 p.m., here's the snow. Now notice it's weakened some as it's approached Youngstown, but still a quick burst of snow around midday tomorrow, starting probably about noon, heading into the 1, 2, maybe 3 o'clock hours tomorrow afternoon. Here's 3 p.m., and notice already things are starting to wind down at that point. So this is going to be a few hours worth of snow midday on Sunday that can give us a quick inch or maybe 2, and then we might get another inch tomorrow night on top of that with the cold front. Remember I said that first burst is with the warm front. Well, by tomorrow evening, a cold front is out here, heading our way. So we'll get another round tomorrow night, Sunday night. So the way Sunday will unfold, fine at the start of the day, maybe a quick inch or so worth of snow around midday, noon, 1 o'clock, then another break, and then tomorrow night, maybe another inch worth of snow, maybe an inch and a half or something like that, with our cold front. And that's the front that has the kind of the mother load of cold air. All right, the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh just recently, within the last 15 minutes, issued what we call a public information statement. This is where they list all the snowfall totals that have been called into the Weather Service office, and I'm going to look for a couple of spots that are in the WFMJ viewing area, or at least close to it. Here's Columbiana County. This is the highest total I've seen. The Department of Highways reporting 6 inches in Salem. I haven't seen anything even really close to that, maybe a 5-inch total over in Lawrence County, but 6 inches, that's definitely on the high end of things. Wellsville, also in Columbiana County, at a little after noon, had 3 inches. Scrolling on down here into Pennsylvania, here's a report in Lawrence County. Newcastle has about 5 as of about 1 o'clock this afternoon. I think overall our 3 to 5 inch forecast is working out just fine. Vast majority of the viewing area is going to fall somewhere in that 3 to 5 range. And again, we might add on to these totals here mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock hour, 4 o'clock hour with that burst of snow. All right, let's focus on the coming cold. This is Tuesday morning. Predicted temperatures on the European computer model. You can see we're well down into the teens here with a -17 printed out in Youngstown. I think this is probably a little too cold but not by a lot. We could be talking about somewhere around -11, -12 Tuesday morning in some spots, and that's the temperature. Here's the wind chill. This is the more important figure because no matter what the temperature is, the wind chill is going to be really bad. Wind chill maybe as cold as -35 to -40. Again, this is probably a little too cold, but I think -30 is on the table as far as a wind chill. And when we had that cold snap 2.5 weeks ago, when we had -12 in the morning, the wind chill was -35. This will be a similar morning, I think. We'll probably be around -10 to -12, and then the wind chill will make it feel like it's down to 30, maybe 35 below. So Tuesday morning, the schools are going to be canceled. You can count on it. And you can also count on a lot of problems with burst pipes again. Cars aren't going to start. All the same issues we had a couple of weeks ago. We're going to have Tuesday morning and probably again Wednesday morning. Here's Wednesday morning's temperatures. The Europeans saying about -13 across northeast Ohio as far as the temperature. And then the wind chill about -30. And I think this is fairly realistic. -25 to -30 for the wind chill Wednesday morning. When you're talking about -25 to -30 to -35, frostbite can set in as little as 10 minutes or so on any unexposed skin. So your nose, your ears, your extremities, your fingertips. If you have to work outside, if your job requires you to work outside, you don't need me to tell you that you need to take proper precautions, use common sense, because frostbite can happen much quicker than you think when it starts to get this cold. So Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, that's going to be the worst of the cold. Posted an entry on my weather blog last night, ericwfmj.com, dealing with some changes as we head towards the end of January and into February. And you can go over to ericwfmj.com to check that out. And just to point out a couple of highlights from that post, here's the current upper-level pattern featuring our friend the polar vortex up in Canada. We've also got a big ridge of high pressure off the west coast. And with a low-pressure system where it is and a high-pressure system where it is, that forces the air straight down like this out of northern Canada through the Midwest and across the Ohio Valley. And, of course, that's a pretty cold pattern. The pattern is expected to change in about a week. Right in time for Super Bowl Sunday, Groundhog Day. Here's that upper-level pattern for the second day of February. Here we go. Notice it looks quite a bit different. Our ridge, instead of being here, is now over here. It's pushed west over the Pacific. And our low, our polar vortex, if you will, is jogged off to the north. And while this is not a real warm pattern for us, it does suggest that it will be somewhat, in fact, quite a bit more tolerable by next weekend in time for Super Bowl Sunday, with the jet stream configured more with a westerly, even southwesterly component to it that will allow temperatures to rebound. We could be talking about getting a little above freezing, maybe, by Super Bowl Sunday, and that sounds pretty darn nice. A lot of intrigue this year, of course, with the Super Bowl because it's in a cold weather climate. It's in New Jersey or New York City almost. And so there's lots of intrigue about what the weather is going to be like. There's been speculation about this, of course, since the Super Bowl was announced to be in New Jersey. And we're 8 days out. We're starting to get a little bit close. We're starting to get close enough where we can start to take some educated guesses on the weather that day. And over there, according to this is the GFS model, it'll be a quiet day. This is the map for next Sunday. Nothing going on with high pressure over the Midwest. So that's the GFS. Here, hot off the presses is the latest run of the European. It has precipitation a little bit out across the Ohio Valley, but it has also nothing over the Super Bowl site over there in northern New Jersey or close to New York City. As far as temperatures go, I think odds favor it being in the 30s right now, maybe into the 40s if the warmer ideas work out. But at this point, it doesn't look like it's going to be like a Green Bay, Wisconsin type of a Super Bowl where the wind is howling and it's in the teens. That doesn't look like it's going to happen at all. And at this point, it doesn't look like we have to deal with too much snow or certainly ice if the current models are to be believed. But again, we're still 8 days out. There's plenty of time for the models to start to change their tune a little bit. But sitting here today, weather should not be a huge factor for the big game in 8 days. All right, that's a special Saturday weather for Weather Geeks. I'll be on 21 News tonight at 6 and 11. Thanks for checking out this video, and check out my Facebook and my Twitter throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening. I'll keep you up to date on what's happening with the weather.